Hey, it's Larry Sharpe here at FreedomFest. So happy to be here with all you guys, having a lot of interviews. One of them here with someone who is very special, trying to do things that I think are very close and near and dear to my heart and very popular and important right now in America. I'm here with CEO and co-founder of Together, with an exclamation point, the man himself, Jason Palmer. How are you, sir?
Hey, great to be here with you, Larry.
Together sounds great, but also sounds, is this like a touchy-feely thing? But when I did my homework, it seems like you aren't just touchy-feely.
No.
You are really trying to get stuff done.
Exactly. I mean, right now there's so much polarization in the country.
Yes.
And I work a lot with young people. I'm an investor in startup companies.
Got it.
Been doing that for the last 15 years. And all the entrepreneurs that I know, they have talked to me about someday I thought I might want to go into politics.
Right.
But politics has become too polarized. It would just ruin my reputation.
Yes.
It would ruin my career. And I think I can do more being a social entrepreneur or building a business that makes money and has impact. And so I said, you know what, let's make an organization that tries to get young people elected to Congress and tries to get more young people who are entrepreneurs to kind of help in that process and see it a little bit more close up.
I like that, because right now most people, as you know, are somehow part of the system.
Yep.
And many of them are just lawyers.
Yeah.
Right? Not that I'm against lawyers, I'm against lawyers. Not that I'm against lawyers, I'm just saying I don't want a room full of lawyers.
Right.
I want a room with a couple of lawyers in it.
That's right.
And maybe some business people too.
A lot more business people we need.
Yes.
I mean, business people are the ones that are the engine of our economic growth.
Right.
And I don't say that lightly. That is where 65% of the economy is. That's where all the innovation happens.
Sure.
That's where all the commercialization happens. I mean, there's a reason why the United States is the greatest country in the world, and it's because of the capitalist underpinnings of our economic system.
Wait, it's not because of our government bureaucracy?
No, it's not because of our government bureaucracy.
God.
But capitalism exists on top of a rule of law.
Sure.
And the rule of law requires government, requires courts, requires making sure that contracts are fulfilled and that there is a system of law. Unfortunately, the government bureaucracy has become so overwhelming.
Right.
It actually is stifling small business creation. It's stifling entrepreneurs from getting involved with politics. Like, there's so many problems. People feel like it can't be solved.
Yes, I do feel that, right? I feel that so many people feel like, why bother?
Yeah.
Right? It's so polarized, I can't, people are checking out.
Right, well, it's the same thing people say about voting. Why? My one vote won't matter. My one getting involved with a school board or a local election or running for Congress even, I can't make a difference. So honestly, I had a moment about October, November of last year where I woke up and said, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And I could keep funding companies, and I am still funding companies as a venture capitalist, but there needs to be a bridge between the political world and the social impact world and the business world. And it's time to get that bridge built. And that's what Together, exclamation point, is all about.
Nice. So I'm going to go back to the problem piece, if I could.
Yeah.
I think most Americans, whether you lean left or lean right or more independent, wherever your mindset is, I think most Americans just want some problem solved.
100%.
Right? They do.
Yeah.
Now, you are really on board with the Problem Solvers Pledge.
Correct.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, so when we're endorsing 20 candidates who are running for Congress this fall in November, and half of them are Democrats, half of them are Republicans. We're going to endorse 2 independents or Freedom Party.
Oh, okay.
Or I should say Forward Party or Libertarian Party. And it's important that every one of them sign a very simple one-page pledge that we've created, that you'll support democracy, you'll support getting more young people involved with politics, you'll work across the aisle or even in a multi-partisan way with multiple people from different parties. And there is this group in Congress called the Problem Solvers Caucus.
I have heard of them.
Which is 30 Democrats, 30 Republicans, and so all these candidates are signing up to say, if elected, I will join the Problem Solvers Caucus.
Got it. Now clearly, you're going to get pushback.
I'm getting pushback already.
Right? I mean, people go, no. We like our tribes. We want to fight. I like blue team, red team.
Right.
And here comes this guy, Jason, he's going to change things. We don't like that.
Right.
How do you handle that kind of, is it social pressure, media pressure, whatever?
You know what's the truth so far is like 10% on the extreme right and 10% on the extreme left think, Jason, I don't know what you're doing, you need to pick a team, just like you said. But 80% in the middle are kind of like whispering, I kind of like what you're doing. How can I support this? I think 80% of us are kind of common sense in the middle, and how come nobody can stand up for that? And it's because of our primary system in politics, where the 10% that are the most radical vote in the primaries, and the 80%, when we get to the election at the end and it's Biden versus Trump, we're like, how did this happen? How come it wasn't better candidates? Well, you didn't participate in the primaries. That's why.
It's funny you say that. In my state, New York, where I live, we don't have open primaries. And the Democratic Party, it's a one-state party, right? Something like Oklahoma is very Republican. New York is obviously very Democrat.
I grew up in upstate New York, so I know New York pretty well,
Whereabouts?
A little town called Averill Park that's near Troy.
Oh, great, yes, Albany area.
Very Albany area.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, Albany was the big city for me growing up.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure it's that. I'm not sure.
It's medium city.
It's medium, yes, exactly, yes. But no, my point being, if you're not a member of the Democratic Party in New York City, you have no say in your politics.
No.
Because the primary is everything. Whoever wins the primary wins the election.
Right.
So you've got to be a member of the Democratic Party. It feels completely wrong.
Right.
So you talked about the idea of Democrats, Republicans, but you also brought up forward, libertarians. You're also looking for a multi-party system.
Yes, I've been a fan of third parties or a multi-party system my entire life. Now I also know in our current system, everything is rigged in favor of the two major parties.
100%.
Now I happen to mostly align with the Democratic Party, but I also know it'd be better for our country as a whole if there was the possibility of enabling 4, 5, 6 parties
100%.
to really have national appeal. And that's why people are so dissatisfied with their choices. A lot of people don't even know the Libertarian Party exists,
100%.
or the Green Party. They don't know about the Constitution Party. They don't know that there is an independent party in some states, but not other states. Why is that? If there was an independent party that was a nationwide party, I actually think it would pretty immediately be the most popular party.
So that's obviously a massive task, because you've said obviously it is rigged. And it's not rigged with like 2 things, it's rigged with like 40 things.
Right.
How do we even begin to unrig this thing? Is it just education? Is it changing ballot access laws? Is it suing the states? How do we even begin?
So I don't want people to get overwhelmed with this answer, but it is like a 5-part answer.
It has to be.
So I have decided for this, and I always think as an entrepreneur and an impact investor, I think in 6-month milestones.
Okay.
What can be accomplished in 6 months? This 6 months, I want to try to get 15 of these 20 candidates elected to Congress, that the big news on the day after election isn't did the Democrat win or did the Republican win for the presidency. It's like, where did all these young people came from that are now in Congress? And to do that, we're going to try to get 1 million more young people registered to vote on 300 college campuses, which, by the way, is not even that difficult. There are now ways to use technologies like vote.org, Lyft, Tinder, where you can actually sign up in a digital way using social media right online where you already are. And we're just threading those technologies together so that students will register to vote or request an absentee ballot in-app, the way they normally operate on their phones.
So instead of fighting the culture, you're embracing it.
I'm accepting that the culture is the way it is. These kids are spending 6 to 8 hours on their cell phones, while swiping left or right. Oh, register to vote. I'll swipe left and then type a couple things in and I'll register to vote. And oh, by the way, I just saw an ad there where an athlete on my campus that I highly respect is actually doing a 7-second video about the importance of voting, about youth power, about getting young people out there. And that's what we're going to do.
It's funny you're saying, because everyone talks about that. Right? You hear it all the time, and the talking heads, oh, we got to use social media, oh, we got to use celebrities. You're actually doing it.
I actually am trying to do it. I don't want to say I've succeeded at it yet.
Okay.
But we have hosted a couple concerts. We have a number of athletes involved. And then as an entrepreneur, I'm always looking for hacks.
Okay,
and I'm happy to share with all the people that are listening that there's a good hack here where an athlete at a particular college is like the most respected person on campus, but they still are not turned pro yet. They're still amateur, but they can make a little bit of money through the NIL office, the name, image, and likeness office. And so for a small amount of money across all these colleges, like $100 an athlete, we can easily get them to do a 7-second video, which will then be on TikTok, which will then be on Instagram, which will then be on Reels, and it'll point you to registering to vote.
Okay, so hold on. Now, what if we do this? Now, my worry now is the establishment now sees this awesome hack, and they counter-hack you. Is that a thing?
It could happen. I mean, I ran for president 6 months ago, as we were talking about beforehand.
And you're number 2 behind Biden.
I am second most delegates going into the convention.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. And there were a couple of hacks we used during that campaign too. I was the first candidate to come out with a talking image likeness version of myself powered by AI. Got covered by the Wall Street Journal, and that's partly because I knew that talking to people was the only way they would get to know me, and I couldn't talk to millions of people.
Of course.
But if I actually put this up online and people can talk to and kind of gameplay with the AI, that's a way to reach more people in a fun, engaging way. So I have some counter moves planned that if the parties go after what we're doing, we can come back at them with humor, engage with them. And remember, 80% of the people in both the Democratic and the Republican Party kind of agree with what I'm doing, but they may not be able to say it publicly.
So then you think there's, if I'm getting you right, you think there's some kind of tipping point?
There is a tipping point, but it won't happen in 1 year. This is, get some candidates elected.
Got it.
Then do structural reforms. So I'm a huge fan of open primaries, ranked choice voting, all the work that's being done by multiple organizations there, many ballot initiatives. That needs to happen. That's a 5 to 10 year project.
Sure.
We need to support that. But then also we're building this technology platform that'll enable you to register to vote easily this fall, but it can do more than that. It could actually become a place where you raise money for your causes, companies, and campaigns.
Okay.
And I imagine, if you will, like a Twitter that's not a cesspool, it's all about the good things that people are doing, where you can Venmo micro donations to people who are doing things that you believe in. We're going to partner with organizations like Junior Achievement in middle school and high school.
Wow.
And then college and accelerator organizations all over the country where I already have relationships. So this will be something where if you're part of an accelerator, you automatically enroll in the Together ecosystem to both fundraise and get the name out.
This all comes from Together.
Yes, Together. Although for the next 6 months, most people will think Together is just a political thing.
Sure.
But as the app goes version 1, version 2, version 3, this is going to be a community of all the mission-driven people who are trying to change the world for the better in business, politics, and the nonprofit world.
That's great because I think so many people, to your point, particularly when it comes to politicians, are only looking for the next popular thing to get them elected in the next election.
Right.
They're not looking 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road.
And actually that's true with donors too. A lot of donors were trying to raise $10 to $20 million for the candidates this fall. And I mentioned to them, by the way, 25% of the funds are going to go to building the technology.
Right.
And they're like, that's great, but it'll kind of go away after November. It's like, no way.
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur. We're going to build the technology, then we're going to build version 2. We're going to get all the entrepreneurs in the community next year because there aren't that many political elections next year. We need to have a viable revenue model next year. And we can actually help those companies raise money for their causes, just like we're helping the politicians raise money for their campaigns this year.
Very nice.
It's weird how people always see these as two separate worlds, entrepreneurship and politics. They don't have to be two different worlds just because the legal regulatory structure is such. We can build all the right legal checks and balances in the system, but it can still be an ecosystem that works for both groups.
So if someone's interested in Together, how do they find out? Is it like a Twitter? Is it what do you?
We do have a Twitter account, but I would mostly steer people to togetherpurple.org. That's
togetherpurple.org.
Yeah, so that's because we don't want to spend $250,000 to buy together.org right yet. Eventually, maybe we might spend that, but not yet.
Got it.
And yeah, sign up there. We're getting lots of people who are volunteering. Donate there.
Nice.
Lots of people are donating $10, $25, especially young people are donating small amounts. But mostly at this event, I'm mostly focused on people who could donate $25,000 to $1 million.
Sure.
Some of whom are becoming investors in the company because they see the long-term vision, and some of them are just like, here's $1 million, go help those 20 young people get elected.
Absolutely. No, I definitely see that people want to donate because they want to see some impact.
Exactly.
Right, whatever that thing is.
And you got to keep having milestones where you're having impact every 6 months.
Right.
Otherwise, the money won't keep coming.
Wow, it's great. The last person I want to bring up here is this going to be, do you think, more of a Democrat, more of a Republican, more of an independent party, or some kind of mix? Because what I always worry about is someone tries to do something, whatever that thing is,
Yep.
and then they're co-opted by either Democrats or Republicans. It's
Yes.
a common thing.
Yes.
I'm sure you're worried about that.
I actually am very worried about
Yes.
that, and I do think already some people think, oh, Together might be more blue because you were a Democratic
Sure.
candidate for president.
Yep.
But my co-founder, Deborah Perry Piccioni, she worked in the Bush White House and with Congress. She's a Republican side of the equation. And our third co-founder, Kwame Jackson, he's someone that actually worked for Donald Trump and appeared on The Apprentice back in the day. And he has a very mixed ideology. I would call him independent. But we made sure we have from the beginning, and same with our hires. Every time we hired 3 more employees, we try to make sure Democrat, Republican, and independent.
Nice.
So we keep the organization that way as long as possible, honestly.
Oh, I love that. I feel better already.
Yes.
I feel better already. So
Yeah.
great. Jason, anything that I haven't brought up that you want to bring up?
I think you've brought up pretty much everything, and I really appreciate a chance to come and meet with you. And,
Of course.
Yeah, be on your show.
This is what coming to Freedom Fest is about. This about seeing what the future is.
Yeah.
Right. People think it's only about freedom. It is.
Yeah.
But it's also about what's coming next. Whatever you see here at Freedom Fest in 6 months to a year is going to be a thing.
Well,
and I got a feeling Together's going to be a thing.
Together's going to be a thing.
Excellent.
And
Thank
don't
you
forget
so much.
that exclamation point.
Absolutely. Good seeing you. Thank
Great
you.
seeing you, Larry.
Thank you.